Hi, folks. How are you doing tonight? I know it's been a while since I've been on air, but you know what? It's all about trying to get a better grasp of learning and understanding everything. Now, we're going to talk about reading tonight for a few minutes, but I think you're going to find out that the more you're willing to take just a little bit of time to do some reading, you're going to understand more and more about what you're doing. Now, I have this book in front of me. It's a book that I wrote. Yes, I wrote it. Some of you, I may have shown it to you in class, maybe. If not, oh well. It's called Thaddeus Chambers, A Kid's View of Life and Politics. Now, what's interesting about this book is the fact it's a very um, everyday thing. It's something that almost anybody can relate to, almost. And by the way, hi to my friends out there. I see you making a comment. I can't make a comment back, but thanks for watching. Anyway, so as I was saying, when you look at this book, let me just tell you this is the Thaddeus Chambers 2, A Kid's View of Life and Politics. The title itself gives you an idea what it's about. Now, I know some people are going to say Thaddeus Chambers. All I can say is that's the title I gave it. I liked the name and I thought, what? Wouldn't you like a friend named Thaddeus? Anyway, he's a middle school kid, junior high. Now, some of you are in high school. I know you're going to say, well, he's too young for me. Hey, you were once in junior high too, so don't complain. But anyway, as I was saying, you got Thaddeus Chambers to A Kid's View of Life and Politics. What's he talking about? His life being in junior high. And he'll eventually get to high school, yes. But that's what he's talking about. He's talking about his life in junior high and one of the things he wants to do. Now, because I actually want you to read this book, if you get a chance to read it, if you can get a hold of it somehow, go and read it. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but he does have this big dream he has, and he's really encouraged to make it happen. Now, I'm going to start with really the first page here because the first page starts it off. All right. Let me go ahead and go to the first page real quick. He says, let me introduce myself. Oh, that sounds fair, right? Let me introduce. I guess it is proper for me to introduce myself. I am Thaddeus Chambers. That's right. I am a 12-year-old boy who enjoys being a kid. And yes, I'm a kid to the very inch of my nimble young body. Not only do I enjoy being a kid, I also hang out with other kids who are like me. Even though I do not go with the crowd, you'll usually find me with those individuals that are also 12 years old. Yes, occasionally a 13-year-old or 14-year-old sneaks in, but it is mainly the ones who are 12 years old that keep, and I got to turn the page here, that keep a tight group. High school kids are usually laughed at. Pardon me. High school kids are usually laughed at unless, of course, they are family and the elementary. Well, we won't go there. On occasion, we go to basketball games and football games, but that is only once in a while. And even though I do hang out with those my age, I tend to have other things to do as I'm not part of some pack running around all the time. Okay, just reading those first few sentences, you already know that Thaddeus likes a group of people, but he's not somebody that is always out all the time. Now, the reason why I mention this to you is this. Anytime you read anything, whether it be that literature book that you've got to get ready to write a report on, or it's your science book, it's your math book, or your social studies book, whatever it might be, there's always information you're being given, and it's good to pause and try to figure it out. Now, I know you're saying, but it's dry, it's boring, it's just simply one word after another. It might be, but the way you're going to get the understanding is by trying to read it. So many times when I've been in class, a student puts their hand up and say, hey, I have a question. So I'll go up and I'll go ahead and say, what's the question? I don't understand this. So I'll start reading the question to them. Seriously. I'll start reading the question. I get maybe 3 or 4 words into the sentence, maybe 5, maybe 6. And then they say to me, oh, I get it. Now, why are they saying that? Maybe because they didn't take the time to read it. They just looked at maybe one word or two, and that was it. Friends, you gotta take time to read, even if it's not much your most fun task. Now, I just read to you a portion of this book, and you already have an idea as to what Thaddeus is like. He's 12 years old, hangs out with a couple people, few people he hangs out with, but he doesn't go with the crowd. What does that tell you? He's got a little more serious stuff in mind. Doesn't that sound like the kind of guy you like to get to know? Well, my point is this: when you're reading, even if it's just a few sentences, if you take the time to pay attention to what you're reading, that will help you understand what you're reading. I know there's a lot of great teachers out there who come up with this strategy or that strategy and try to get you excited, enticed. You don't have to write down those notes or write down what you need to understand about each paragraph, and those are good things to do. But the bottom line is this: taking the time, making sure you try to understand, making sure you read it carefully. Friends, the more you try to read, the better you're going to understand the stuff you're working on. Now, that wasn't so bad, was it? Now, I know there's a whole lot more to read, but maybe we can do that another time. But anyway, until next time, it was great to see all of you. I hope you're all doing good. And as they say in show business, see you next time. Later.